Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. I'm InksLaura123 and this is going to be my reading wrap up for the month of June. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I do this every single month. I basically do a reading wrap up and tell you, the books I read, what they're about, and of course my personal views and opinions about each book. So, hopefully you get some ideas for books that you would like to read in the future. And yeah, I love talking about books because I'm a complete and utter bookworm. I love reading. I read every single day. So yeah, I know on this channel, these kind of videos don't get that many views compared to other videos that I do, like the shopping hauls and stuff. But do you know what? I don't mind because I love doing them. I love doing book related videos because I'm just basically so passionate about books and reading and talking about the books I've read and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, also in this video I will be doing a giveaway, okay? So I'm going to be giving away this book here, which is Rebecca, a classic book, and look at that cover. It's so pretty, so pretty. So if you want to find out how you can be in with a chance of winning Rebecca, keep watching, okay? And I've got my little book review diary here because, everyone needs a book review diary, and I just hope I can actually read my handwriting because I literally have terrible handwriting. And very quickly, before I begin, if I move over a little bit, look at this. It's a new beach towel that I am using as a backdrop in this video. So I've got it in Primark and I'm going to use it next week. I want to sit on the beach on my own with a nice cold drink and my book and just relax in the sunshine on the beach. So I am going to use it, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to hang it up behind me and it looks pretty good. Just hanging up as a backdrop. Anyway, so reading wrap up for the month of June. I read a total of 13 books this month, or sorry, last month, which is pretty cool actually. I thought it'd be less because some of the books I read in June were proper big thick hardbacks, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to read that many this month, but I ended up doing okay. So yeah, 13 books for the month of June. Okay, the glasses are on, I mean business. Right, let's do this. So the first book I read in the month of June was Dread Nation by Justine Ireland. So a historical fiction with zombies. Okay, it sounds bizarre, but weird is good. So yeah, I love this so much. I've literally put that so much. So I love the main character of Jane. She was strong, she was sassy, and I love the way that her character would show her kind of vulnerable side, but also show her strong side as well. You really kind of got into her mind and her emotions, and she was also really good at kicking the zombies' butts, so that's all good. Loved it. There are some trigger warnings of racism, sexism, violence, and at times I did find the book a little bit gory, which I'm not really a fan of gory things and stuff, so I did skim those little bits because I was like, oh, but overall the book was absolutely amazing. I literally loved it. I've never read anything like it before, and I can't wait for book number 2 in the series. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars because I just loved it. Okay, so the next book I read was called This Is Where It Ends, and it was by, I hope I say this name properly, Marieke Nijkamp. Marieke Nijkamp? I don't know. I am rubbish at pronunciations. So yeah, this book is called This Is Where It Ends, and it was a wonderful, thought-provoking book, and it deals with the subject of gun violence, okay? So it's obviously a very touchy subject, but I really do think it's important that there are books about this kind of thing out there, And it also deals with bullying. So this book happens in kind of real time. It was very kind of in the moment exciting, but also I did cry a bit, I'm not gonna lie. I did have a lot of tears in this book. So yeah, a school shooting takes place, and also what I found interesting about this book that the story was told from 4 different characters, so you get 4 different perspectives of what happened, and it was very thought-provoking, very deep, and very good. And I like the fact that it was in real time because it felt just so real and live and just whoa. And as I say, I think it's important that there are books about that kind of subject out there. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you. Out of 5, I gave it 4 stars out of 5. So it was very good. By the way, when it comes to my ratings for my out of 5 rating. You know, for me, if something's a 4, it's really, really good. Like, if you get a 4, it's good, you know, but if it's a 5, it's like, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, number 1 is, didn't like it at all. Number 2 is, didn't really like it that much, but it was okay. I've read worse. And 3 stars would be just, it was okay. It was just average. Anyway, so the next book I read was NASA by Josh Martin. So it's part of the Earth series. It was number 2. So it's kind of young adult, sci-fi, fantasy, steampunk, all mixed in one. Okay. Also, there's a kind of strong feminist vibe going in this book, which I liked. And also loyalty, friendship, magic. So really, I don't want to give too much away about this book because it is number 2. So you really need to read number 1, which was, in my opinion, better. I did enjoy number 1 better than this, even though this one was okay. I preferred number 1, and that was called Ariadnes. I hope I say that properly. Ariadnes. Ariadnes. Anyway, no, yeah, no, it was good. Not as good as number 1, and the characters, you know, nice kind of getting to know them again and getting to know them a bit more. But I don't know, I felt this book kind of dragged a little bit. There was times in it I was just like, getting a bit bored, do you know what I mean? So I only gave it 3 stars. But I would read number 3 in the series because I want to know what happens next. Okay, next up I read another kind of school shooting themed book. So that was called Give a Boy a Gun. It's because I go on Goodreads, the app. By the way, I'll put the link to my Goodreads down below, so if you want to come follow me on there, come follow me. You can see what books I've read and want to read and stuff. But yeah, on Goodreads app, you know, you put your book on, it says what you're reading, and then it suggests books that are similar that you might enjoy reading. And obviously when that happens, I think, oh, that sounds good, or that looks similar to this one, and that's what happens. That's why I read kind of similar stuff sometimes. But yeah, this one was a little quick read, and it was called Give a Boy a Gun by Todd Strasser. So it's about these 2 best friends called Brandon and Gary, and they're kind of, you know, loners. They kind of stick together on their own, and they've been bullied, both of them, for like years and years. And they steal some guns from a neighbour and then go into their school and hold their classmates hostage. Yeah, this deals with obviously school violence and guns and bullying. Very triggering, obviously. If people don't like books like this, it's not the book for you. But I just, as I say again, sorry to go on, but I just think it's so important that people talk about this kind of thing. And also in this book, which I like, there were like, as you go through the book, at the bottom of each page, well, not each page, but most pages, there was like little like real facts about gun violence and gun laws and things. So very interesting, very thought-provoking. Something needs to be done. So I you know, being in England, I just cannot understand why, you know, people are allowed guns in America and stuff. I don't get it. I'm not going to go into that whole thing now, but I just, you know, especially when you've read things like this, you know, it's just so sad and it's so awful that, you know, young people or anyone can just, you know, obtain a gun. Like, you just go into your shop, local shop, to get some milk, and then I just have a gun as well. I just don't, you know, I don't get it, and I hope the rules and the laws change at some point in the future. But I thought it was a good book, quick little read, 4 stars. Okay, next up I read a slightly more happier kind of subject, a bit like, because I'd read a few dark books, so I was like, I need something a bit lighter, a bit kind of girly fiction, and I read a book called When Dimple Met Rishi, and it's by Sandhya Menon. So, oh my god, super cute book, really needed it. I needed that kind of lightness from all the darkness of books to the, you know, the lightness. So yeah, this was about this lovely girl, an adorable character called Dimple. She's very strong-willed, you know, and she's sweet at the same time, but she's quite sassy. And basically her family are obsessed with finding her a good Indian husband, but she's kind of more interested in, you know, getting a career and her future sorted out than getting married. But anyway, so she then meets Rishi, who, I loved his character. He was such a sweet, romantic, caring guy, and he falls like head over heels for her. And this is a sweet, lovely coming-of-age book about finding yourself, falling in love, and about family and relationships, and just really good book. Like, he was meant to be her kind of future husband, and then she finds out and she gets a bit angry, and she's like, you know, I don't want to talk about marriage, and then they end up being friends, then more than friends. And yeah, it's really good, sweet book. I liked it a lot, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And she's got a new book as well, which I can't think of the name of. I think it's Twinkle something. but I want to check that one out as well. All right, next up, I read a big book, like it was a big hardback book. So it was by Bill Clinton and James Patterson. It was called The President is Missing. So this book has had kind of mixed reviews. Some people really, really love it and some people really hate it. I've watched various reviews, and you know, I can kind of get where the people that have been negative about it, I can kind of get where they're coming from, but for me, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I absolutely loved it. So I said, yeah, here's my notes. I said, I truly love this book. Oh yeah, it could definitely tell that two authors wrote the parts. There was definitely a difference in the writing style, but I kind of like that. Like I was kind of thinking in my head, has Bill Clinton wrote this bit? Has James Patterson wrote this bit? So I don't know who wrote who. I'm not sure. I think Bill Clinton wrote all like the president's bits, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, the president in this book was a really nice guy, and you know, he really wanted to do the best to save his country, even if the situations he was put in were very scary and unpredictable. So in this book, there's terrorism, there's spying, there's cyber attacks, there's dodgy people in the White House, there's goodies, there's baddies, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great thriller. I gave it 5 out of 5, and I honestly hope that Bill Clinton writes more, because I think it was a good book. And I love James Patterson books anyway, so that's all good. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for that one. Next book I read was Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, and I actually buddy read that with the amazing Melissa and Barnsley Reid. Literally, if you have not checked out her channel here on YouTube, check it out. She's wonderful, lovely lady, and literally every book she says about I've either read or want to read. Like, we've just got such similar taste in books, and she is just adorable. I love her to bits, love her channel, so go and check her out, Melissa and Barnsley Reid. So this book, yeah, it was a cute little book. It was funny at times, like I literally laughed out loud in parts. So imagine kind of The Craft meets Mean Girls. So witchcraft, friendship, zombies. It sounds so random, but it was brilliant. Okay, so there's his best friends, Mila and Riley. They live in this kind of like small remote town, and they're kind of like, they stick together. They don't really hang out in big groups of friends. They're just kind of on their own together. But then Riley and these other two girls who are quite popular die. So people are thinking there's some form of like suicide thing going on, you know, and Mila decides that this isn't what happened. She does not believe that her best friend would have killed herself, or the other two. So she kind of gets into her magic and does some spells and brings back Riley to try and find out what really happened. And also the other two girls come back who are a bit like mean girl kind of characters. So it is quite funny at times, and it's kind of sweet as well. And I did kind of like think, oh, yeah, because I don't want to give too much away, but it was a good book. I did like it. It was quite a fun read, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Right, next up, Your Turn to Die by Sue Warman. I literally love Lying About Last Summer, one of her previous books. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. The ending was, whoa, such a twist. This one I was really, really disappointed in. Do you know, I nearly stopped reading it. Halfway through I was like, oh, it's so boring. But I wanted to know what happened. So I did keep reading it, but I kind of like read very quickly and skimmed parts of it. So yeah, basically 3 families gather to celebrate the new year. They kind of have been meeting up for years and years. They all know each other. And this main girl, she's 15, her name's Leah. She kind of finds out secrets and like spooky stuff about this old kind of house that they're staying in. And yeah, kind of secrets come out, and I don't know, it just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, and it was very wishy-washy, and I didn't really like any of the characters that much, and I don't know. Yeah, I was very disappointed. I've definitely preferred her other books, so I only gave it 2 out of 5 stars, which isn't very good, I know. Alright, next up I read, now I'm probably going to say this wrong because I'm useless, but I think it's Circe, or Circe. Circe. I'm going to say Circe, alright, because it's just the word I say, by Madeline Miller. So, yeah, I did enjoy reading this book, okay, I did, and it was a challenge for me because it was all kind of Greek mythology, and I've got to be honest, I do not know anything about Greek mythology, which is so bad. I know, where was I in my history lessons? Probably mucking about. But yeah, so I think this book would be better if someone had more kind of knowledge of Greek mythology. So there's lots of like name mentions and, you know, gods mentioned and different things. And I didn't know who they were. It just felt like I wish I'd have known. But it gave me this kind of wanting to find out more about Greek mythology. I found the whole kind of, you know, Greek mythology thing so fascinating and interesting that I definitely want to learn more about it. And Nathan, my fiance, knows a lot about Greek mythology, so every now and again I was like, babe, who's this one and what does this one do? And yeah, so I think if you know a bit more about it, you might enjoy it more. But I still thoroughly enjoyed this book. So Circe is the daughter of this kind of mighty titan, and she's a bit strange, and she kind of is shunned by her family and all around her. And basically her father carts her off to this island all on her own, and she has to kind of fend for herself and start up a life for herself all on her own. So there's lots of magic and witchcraft in this book, which I liked. So yeah, she has to stand on her own against men and gods. She has to be strong. She has to learn where her loyalties lay. And yeah, I just really want to learn more about the whole Greek mythology thing, you know. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely beautifully wrote, really good, but I could only give it a 3.5 out of 5 because, as I say, I just felt like there were so many mentions of things that I didn't really know about. And that's because of me, that's my fault. You know, I should have been paying attention in history class instead of being naughty. But yeah, no, it was really good, but yeah. Okay, next book I read was The Art of Being Normal, and I haven't wrote down the author, so I apologise for that. Very naughty, Laura. I think it was it Lisa Williamson? For some reason that's in my mind, but anyway, so yeah, The Art of Being Normal, 2 boys, 2 secrets. This book had this awesome twist, like halfway through, like I was like, what? It just really shocked me, and I thought it was a brilliant twist. Great characters, and it dealt with some great issues, including gender issues and sexuality, friendship, family. It was just really, really, really good, really well wrote. I really like this a lot. It's very enjoyable and very thought-provoking as well. And it's made me want to read kind of more books about, you know, gender and stuff like that, because there are a lot of books in the LGBT community that, you know, I've not read, and I just think it'd be more interesting to kind of read them types of books as well, because you get a kind of different perspective on things, you know. So yeah, I really like this book, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. Definitely worth checking out. Next up, I read a book which was my pulled my glasses. I was like, my TBR jar selection. By the way, this is my TBR jar. This is it. It's got stickers all over it. But yeah, every month basically, my lovely fiance picks a book from this jar for me. It's like a mystery book. So in here, I'll show you, are all bits of paper with books, a name of books that I own. So they could be in one of my 3 bookcases around the house. And he just basically picks me a mystery book. So I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. I got the idea from Kit Cats Can Read, who is one of my favourite booktubers. She's amazing. And yeah, so basically he does that, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I get excited to do the TBR book thing. Anyway, so the book he chose for me to read was called Can't Look Away by Donna Cooner, and I'm so happy that he chose it because it was absolutely blooming fantastic. So this was a great little quick read about a girl called Tori, who's this famous YouTuber, and basically she's so popular, everyone loves her. She does like this beauty channel and stuff on YouTube, and shopping and clothes and fashion and all that. All is good until her sister is killed, and not only is she having to deal with the grief of losing her sister, obviously, but also she starts to get trolled, really badly bullied online. So her family move away, but when she gets there, she doesn't know like who to trust and who she shouldn't trust. And I love the fact that it kind of dealt with her grief, and also, you know, because I am a YouTuber, there was parts of the book that I kind of related to for me as well. You know, when I've gone through tough times in my life, you know, I try and be this fun, chirpy, happy character on YouTube, and then it's tough when you're not feeling yourself, you're not feeling happy, you're down about stuff, you're stressed, you know. So yeah, really enjoyed this book. It was really good, loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. And I've also ordered a new book on eBay, which is going to be turning up any day now, which is also kind of social media based and stuff. So yeah, Donna Cooner, very good author, really like that book. Okay, next up is Reaper at the Gates. That was number 3 in the series of An Ember in the Ashes. So I literally am loving this series. If you've not read 1 and 2, check it out. Ember in the Ashes, absolutely brilliant. So I don't want to say too much in case you haven't read number 1 and 2. And all I'll say is that the threat of war looms more than ever. So the Bloodstrike Helene is back, as is the Haunted by his brother Marcus. He's nasty man, Leia and Elias, etc. So it's great to have them characters back. A very exciting story. It just felt like from the minute I opened that book, it was like boom, 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 like all the action just like it didn't stop. It was brilliant. It was quite a big, thick hardback, but I read it in like a few days. Because I just wanted to know what was happening. It was just so exciting. So loved it. Can't wait for the next book in the series, and I gave it a 5-star. Okay, so next up, and that is my final book actually, is Rebecca, which I have here. Just so happen to have it here next to me. And it's by Daphne du Maurier. I think that's how you say it. Daphne or Daphne du Maurier. So basically, the main character, who we never find out her name. The entire book, you never find out the main character's name. And if you did, I didn't find it out. I don't think... so she's swept off her feet in Monte Carlo by this dashing widower called Maxim de Winter. She ends up marrying him and gets to live a new life at his massive country estate. And I mean, the way that this book was described, like the whole, like the way the estate was explained, and just like you can just picture it. I could picture like being in this like beautiful estate, and everything was like so perfectly described. It was beautiful writing. No wonder why it's a classic. And the characters, everything, like it's really well described, everything. But yeah, so she gets this massive estate, and the staff don't seem to be like very friendly with her. They don't seem to accept her, and she feels like she's living under, in the shadow of his former wife who drowned, Rebecca. So that was his wife, and she feels like she can never be as good as Rebecca. Everyone's like, oh, Rebecca was so amazing. So in this book, there are lots of twists and turns, dark secrets come out. This book is different to anything that I've ever read. I've never read like a book like this. And I really did enjoy it, but there were a few things about it that did kind of annoy me. First of all, the fact that I never found out the main character's name, which I know is really petty, but I'm just being honest. It just really bugged me that I didn't know her name. And also the way that Maxim was kind of treating her. It's kind of like, instead of treating her like a new wife and giving her respect and love and stuff, he was just like treating her like a puppy dog. Like throughout the book, like he'd pat her head, and I don't know, I found that very kind of bit sexist and intimidating. I didn't like that, but overall, really good book, and it got me gripped, and I can see why it is a classic. So it is, you know, beautifully wrote and just wonderful. And so yeah, there we go. That is my reading wrap up. Whew, and now I can breathe, for the month of June. There we go. So, okay, so now I'm going to tell you how you can win this book, Rebecca. Okay, so all you got to do is put in the comment section the word enter. So you can put a comment, you know, like you normally would, but as long as you've got the word enter in your comment, I'll know that you're entering in the prize draw to win this book. Now, the only rule is that you do have to be a subscriber of my YouTube channel to enter, okay? So this contest is for subscribers only. So if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, and then you can be in with a chance of reading this book, of winning this book, well, and reading it if you win it. But, so yeah, here it is, Rebecca. Subscribe and put enter in the comment section. Okay, I can take my glasses off now. Now, this is the book that I've just literally started reading yesterday, Children of Blood and Bone. Everyone's gone on about this book for ages, like freaking ages, and I'm finally reading it now myself. And I'm currently on chapter 9, page 86, and I'm loving it. Like, seriously, it's so, so good. Now I'm like, this is why everyone's been going on about this book, because I'm just loving it. And it's also really cool because it's got like a little map. I love maps in books. And it's got like an explanation of who and what all the clans are and what they do. And I think that's really interesting. They're little symbols to each of the clans as well. I literally love it. They killed my mother. They took our magic. They tried to bury us, but now we rise. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't read this book, even though I'm only a little bit through, I hugely recommend it because it's just wonderful. Oh, yeah, sorry, if you want to know my book of the month of June, my favourite book of the month, I'd have to say Dread Nation by Justina Ireland, because I thought it was absolutely amazing. Even though I didn't particularly like the gory bits here and there, overall it was amazing. So I would say Dread Nation is my book of the month. Okay, one more thing, I promise. TBR jar. If you want to see what is this month's TBR jar selection, carry on watching. I'm going to get Nathan, my lovely fiance, to pick me a book from this jar. What will it be? So carry on watching for that. He will be choosing my book. He's done really well, actually. You know, like most of the books he's chose each month for me, I'm like, oh, he chose a good book there. So yeah, he's lucky he picks me a good book. Anyway, please subscribe to my channel. Please click like, comment, and also come check out my other YouTube channel, which is Minx Laura 123 ASMR. And what else? Links down below to that. And social media is Twitter at minxlaura123, Instagram minxlaura123, and Facebook is minx.laura.5. So from me and my new elephant friend, it is goodbye. And don't forget, if you want to enter the contest to win Rebecca, please subscribe and put the word enter in the comment section. All right. Okay, so now Nathan is going to choose me a book from my TBR jar. This is the jar, by the way, with all its stickers on it. Okay.
And this is my hand.
And that is Nathan's hand. Pick me a good book, babe. What's it gonna be?
It's gonna be...
I'm very excited when you do this. Once a month we do this. Okay. It's like a mystery book.
Is Find Me by J.S.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Momo.
I think it's got like a blue cover. Yeah, so it's called Find Me by J.S. Monod, I think that is. I don't know. I can't even read my own writing. No. It is in this room, so hold on one second. I think I know where it is. It's got a blue cover, I think.
Done.
Here it is. I was right, look. Yeah. All my books that I've got, how did I remember that had a blue cover? They're so random. So this is a thriller, I think. Yeah, J.S. Monod. Find Me Before They Do. Oh, God. This looks really creepy, actually. Oh, well done, babe. You found me a good one. You literally always find me a good TBR jar. Sorry, I was reading the book and then I got carried away. Oh, yeah. Connor said it was suicide. Oh, that was it, yeah. Oh, this is supposed to be really good. Well done, babe.
No, thank you.
Cool, thank you. So this is my TBR jar book selection for the month. I've got to fit this in at some point this month to read. Yeah. Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Woo.